Hello everyone, Tamara Dilks, Stampin' Up demonstrator on the Gold Coast in Australia. I'm so happy you could join me today while I show you another card I have created with the countryside in suite. The host code for the month of May is HHHSHFMR. If you live in Australia and don't have a current demonstrator, you can shop in my online store at tamaradilks.stampinup.net. You can use this code for orders under $250 and I will send you a free gift at the end of May. Each month I will have a new host code, so be sure to check out one of my latest videos for the current code. If you would like to find out more about the fantastic rewards for joining as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, please send me an email at tamaradilks@gmail.com and I'll forward some information to you. Now today's card, I've started off with a half sheet of A4, which will be 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters, scored at 10.5. So that's basic white thick cardstock. I then have a mat, which I've done in the designer series paper, which measures 10 centimeters by 14.4. And on top of that, we are going to layer another sheet of the designer series paper, which is 9.3 centimeters by 13.7 centimeters. And that's going to lay on top of that. And then that on there. And then I have a little strip of designer series paper that I'll just pop on the bottom of there, and this one measures 9.3 centimeters wide by 5 centimeters. So I'll just get all of these stuck onto each other. So I'm just using my Tombow liquid glue. You can use any adhesive you like. I like to use this to give me a little bit of movement when I'm putting everything together. So that just goes to the bottom of that sheet. Make sure that's all stuck down. And then we can glue this on our mat. Like that. Okay, next thing I've got is a piece of the Night of Navy ribbon, and I will just pop that over those two joins and secure that at the back. Okay. I'm just looking for my tear and tape. Which I can't find, so I'll just use this. Make sure that's straight. And then all of this can go onto the card base. There we go. And before I get stuck into the tricky stuff, no, actually I'll do the tricky stuff first. Okay, so I have a piece of scrap paper here, and I'll get out my Countryside Corners stamp set. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adjust the height of the stamp. Now I just want to make sure that I've got this positioned correctly. So there would be good. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of my post-it tape and I'll just stick that down like that. Okay, now I'm going to do a border with the boho blue, and on this particular stamp I like to use my Stampin' Right markers. I just find this a little bit easier, and I'm just going to do this little flower border here. Now I've got to make sure that I don't get any of the other raised patterns on here because I don't want to transfer that over. So I'll just go over this once, stamp that down. The outside doesn't matter because we're actually going to die cut that. I'm going to ink that up again and stamp it up again. It's just a little bit blotchy, so I thought, oh well, may as well. Okay, let's give that another stamp. See how that turned out. Oh, much better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my plate down one notch. Now at this stage you need to make sure that your stamp is really clean. So what this is going to do is actually shorten the die, the stamp. So now I use the other side of this stamp, and I'm just estimating how far I need to go down there. That should be about right. And here we go. Need to ink that up again. Okay, actually it should have been this side. Is a little bit paler, so we'll stamp that up again. Okay, there we go. I'm happy with that. Clean my stamp. Now next thing I will do is actually use my Irresistible Blooms stamp set, and I'm going to use Hooray It's Your Day. So I'll just position that where I want that. And I'm not doing this in the center. I'm doing it a little bit, probably the top 2/3, just leaving a little bit down the bottom. And I'm going to use black memento ink for this. Yep. And I tend to get black ink around the edge. So you can either cut this thicker edge off if you tend to get ink around there, or just do what I did and make sure it's clean that way. I'll stamp that. See how that turned out. And I'm happy with that. Okay, I'll stamp. Clean my stamp. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how I cut this. So it is the 3rd die. So I just line this up, and as you can see, it's a little bit too long. But we just line that up. I use my tape. Put this on my plates, and then I will run that through my die cutting machine. And I've got one I prepared a bit earlier, if I can find it. No, I don't. So that's okay. I will just get my machine out. Oops, and make a big loud noise. Place that on. And run that through. Sorry for the shaking. Okay. So then what we have is our die cut like this. So now what we're going to do is line that die up the other side. It's easier if I turn it around this way. And make sure you can feel that the sides of that die are sort of stuck to the same width as what the die already is, so that your die is going to cut straight. Bring this back over, and we will run this through our die cutting machine. There we go. And I actually like that better than my original one, so I'm going to keep that one. So now what I've done is I've cut out of the Night of Navy cardstock and the little banner die here. I've just cut that out as well. going to glue that down. I'm not going to use dimensionals, just going to use it as it is. And pop that down there. I just think this gives it a little bit more dimension. Make sure that's straight. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use my dimensionals. I did have them here, here they are. And I'm just going to pop that up. And then I'll put one in the center. Actually, I didn't want to do that because I've got the ribbon, but it doesn't matter. It'll still hold. And here we go, pop that on. I've sort of lined up that banner with the ribbon. And that's the front of the card. Nice simple card today. And for the inside, I've done a mat of the Night of Navy. And that measures 14.2 by 9.8. Then I have a basic white mat at 13.7 by 9.3. This on our little mat. And then I just had some little strips left over, so I thought I would use these. And one is Night of Navy. I had a little strip and that actually measures 9.3 by 1.1. And then I have a little strip of the Designer Series paper at 9.3 by 0.6. So I'm just going to glue that onto the mat. And you don't have to make it even if you don't want to, but I think I will. And then we're just going to put this strip on the bottom of this mat for the center of the card, and I might just leave a border down the bottom as well. Pop that on. Just gives a little bit more interest to the card. And there you have it, a nice, simple card. I hope you've enjoyed my project today. Until next time, stay safe. Thank you.